am back from my crazy adventure with Chong. Mr. Chong is enough to make you. I don't know. I've been fit since I've had Chong. I'll tell you that. Oh my god. I see how grungy this could get. So this is very grungy. Grungy world, I guess. What happens when you're always busy? And then I come home and I like to relax, so I figure why not. I don't know. This live stream is not too bad. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to have more than an hour because I have so many things I got to do in one day. Generally, when I have to work 2 days straight, it seems chaotic. When I got to work 5 days straight, that's even worse. That's enough to. I don't even know how I'm not in the psych hospital. It's crazy. It's enough to make you want to get ran over. But I guess that's part of life. I'm starting this. I promise. I actually just like to knit, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, so I end up just giving it to people. I put the other one on my husband's table. This way, when he spills his little stuff, it's something to hold it up nice. Because this is what I like to do to relax. I know it's weird. Besides zoning out, rock and roll, I want to say knitting is the second best thing that I like to do. Probably because I like to see, I don't know, I like to see a product, something I created. It's weird. I just enjoy it. I enjoy really creative things. It's just the one thing I like to do. So, I guess it is what it is. What are you going to do? But, I mean, work wasn't overly bad. I actually had time to chart. I was shocked. It wasn't. I mean, it's always kind of Vietnam, I guess you could say. That it is. But Vietnam was kind of civil today. I mean, assignment's an assignment to me, but it just seems to be working out better now. More peaceful. I'm just kind of used to chaotic stuff. I used to work psych for a long time. I actually was thinking about going back to another psych unit. I'm not sure if it benefit my life or not. But yeah, this place keeps making me mad about little crazy stuff. I don't know. I may have to go back to psych. Psych's not bad. I mean, I worked it like 5 years. I did step down psych though. I didn't. It got to the point where sometimes they get violent, so I didn't do full psych. Full psych's kind of. I don't know. It's not good, so. I mean, if you're a big guy and you're a nurse, full psych work is great. But for a woman, sometimes not so much, I guess. Oh, if you want to ask me a question, you can. I'm just doing my knitting because I don't want to get a copyright. Oh my god, I'm so paranoid about that one spider. Ugh. Every time I see something crawling a little, I think something following me in from outside. Ever since me being at war with that big spider I got from what I charged at that thing. I wanted to kill it, but I think it's just see I'm all itchy now, itchy everywhere. Just thinking about it. Every time I go in that damn woods, I try not to go too deep in the woods. No more. Even though I like those dog walking people that go deep in the woods, and I wanted to be cool today, and I did want to be cool. I couldn't go in the tall grass because I don't think that my pants were long enough. But sometimes if they're loose, the spiders loved my blood. It's horrible. I mean, I go in these places because Chong loves them, but the wildlife wants to eat me, especially the insects. I mean, I think I probably have a tasty meal. I don't know. Oh my god. There goes again. It's this yard. It's making me jump. Oh my god. If you guys want, I'll do a reading. The cards are right here. I can stop knitting. All I gotta do is put my needles down a minute. I always get a little jumpy after these nature walks. I'm afraid I brought home. I brought a smaller purse. Okay, it was a little tiny piece of something on this bed. It wasn't even a. I thought it was an ant or something. But yeah, I can answer your question. I can put my needles down. It's just I can't do anything fun while I'm waiting, and it's the only thing I can do that doesn't get me a copyright is knitting. So I just knit until I get a question. But I did tell a story earlier about the fairies. The problem when I do these stories, sometimes like just fun little stories like you would do like at a campfire, just stupid little stories. Somehow I get in trouble with them. I got in trouble and I went against Facebook rules. And it was not even a bad story. It really wasn't. It was like a campfire story earlier. It wasn't even bad. It was very tame. But somehow I get in trouble on Facebook over these things all the time. All the time. So I just took it down. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I'm okay with it just being taken down because it's everywhere. It was everywhere else. So my Snapchat things, because they have that thing over there. I'm new to Snapchat. I guess apparently you can have followers. I did not know this, but you can have followers. I do have 50. I was shocked. I don't know how I got 50 followers, but somehow I got 50 followers over there. And then I even found some friends I haven't seen in forever. I'm talking years. I'm like but they let me have the stuff I make over there. So it's a private like chat type thing. I don't have to put a lot of storage on my phone. But yeah, if you want a reading, I'm just killing time, as they say. Like when you're at a doctor's office waiting for something, it's kind of like that. I've been going on a lot of those, trying to get all these deep cleanings out of the way and fix the chip in my tooth. And fighting with insurance people over stupid stuff because they don't like to pay for a third deep cleaning. So you got to come up with $700 now, apparently. So, oh hello, how are you? I'm just here. I'm recovering from the Chong walk. I go through tall grass and we go in places that you probably would be like, do I have enough clothing on? All right, Chong. All right, hang on. He's shaking the bed. He's like a big damn earthquake. It says, "What will be in a relationship?" Okay, and how will he be? Okay, what will he be? Oh, I talked to you yesterday, right? All right. You mean the other guy we were talking about? Like your other possibility? Because I think I talked to you yesterday. I'm not Wiz Khalifa over here, so. Oh no. All right, are you new? I thought I talked to you yesterday. I was talking to somebody who was kind of, I don't know, there's a lot of relationship questions. All right. Okay, hang on. Future husband, he will be. Oh, you're a new subscriber. Oh, okay. So is this, have you met this future husband? Is it like an arranged marriage? I mean, there is things like that that still go on in the world. I don't know if I'm a fan of this practice. Oh, okay, so it's an arranged marriage, and you want to know, and you've seen them. Do you get good vibes with them? Okay, so it's an arranged marriage. Okay, so you need two readings. You need to find out the circumstance about him because you don't really know him. Have you met him to see what he looks like? No, I have not seen him. Wow. This is like a royalty relationship. Go ahead, I'm just putting it on my little stand, my box. Oh, I'm not going nowhere. I'm here. I'm just gonna vape it. I'll wait. I'm a streamer. I have lots of time. Time is on my hands. I wonder if she got a phone call from the guy. That is quite a pickle right there. But it's getting exciting now. But if there's another question out there while she's out with her phone call or something, you could put it in the stream and I can do a reading. Oh, okay, she's back. Okay. I didn't know if I had two people. It says, I want to ask you what will meet my future husband and how will he be? Will be happy after marriage. Oh, you want to know if he's not a hole. I can do these kind of things. I'm like an in between, so I could find out his. We could find out his dark secrets. This I'm good at. I'm the witch to ask if there's some you want to know details like this. We could find out his sins because that's really what we want to know is his sins. Because sins, everybody has them, But certain people have sins that make them look good, and some people have sins that make them look ugly. Some people's sins are they killed someone to protect someone. Technically, I guess you would consider it a sin, but it kind of defines you as somebody that would protect your family. So it kind of always works, I guess, differently. So you want to know what kind of sin he has before you marry somebody. Because to find out about their sins is to know about their moral fiber. And I do like to investigate things like this. So we'll see what this says about him. All right. All right. Your husband's passing was full moon and Taurus, and his sins always revolved around. Anyways, his sins revolved around money. So he did have sins, but it was to get more money. So your husband's going to have money because his sins included getting money. His sins of the present are he's in new moon in Capricorn. And his hard work is coming through, which means investments are turning profitable. Hopefully, he didn't screw too many people over while he was doing this. But, anyways, the future for his sins, he had a third quarter moon, and it says adjustments are required. Some of his investments, there's problems, I guess, in a business, and they got to get somebody in there to fix it. So he has a lot of money now, but he has a lot of money going out, and he's trying to fix things. But he is going to come out ahead. All of his sins are about money, so this can't be a bad thing for your future husband. Now we'll find out. We know he likes to make money. So now we will go and look to see if you'll be happy with him. At least you know you won't be evicted anywhere. Because with this kind of money that I'm foreseeing, it's enough to keep you comfortable even if you lost a little bit of money. And as for your marriage and the romantic thing, we'll go past. I'll go the past of his, the present, and the future. All right, his past romantic. Since you guys had arranged marriage, he got the waxing moon. He didn't have any love before. He had people that he got along with, people he had sex with, I guess you would say, but he just never really actually loved somebody, but not in the romantic love. So he hasn't fallen in true love. And the present would be you. So you got for your present for this marriage, you got full moon and Aries. He's he really doesn't want to be in love. He doesn't mind being with somebody. He does want kids, but he wishes it was another way. I guess I could identify with this. That would be hard for anybody to kind of put their head around. And the future of this marriage is you got full moon in Aries. So maybe it's like you got a fire marriage. A fire marriage is you're kind of stuck together, but fire marriages could be good too. Because Aries is very strong and warlike. So, here, here. Oh, you're single? Were you with the one with the arranged marriage? Oh, well, then this is about the husband. He says bad business investments, and we're down to there's going to be the next marriage literally is the first guy is going to have not really been in love. Then he's going to meet you and not accept it at first, which just means he's just going to be wishy washy for a little bit and then he'll be okay. And then in the future, you got for the new marriage, you got another Aries. You got full moon in Aries. Usually Aries are very passionate, so passions are it's gonna go from real cold to real hot. And he's gonna have at least he'll have an established business of some sort or money income. This happens too. So I hope I was helpful. I mean, if you have any like a question upon that question, I just think of the bigger picture a lot of times, and I guess I think in more mystical terms because I see the world in a mystical way. But I do see you finding somebody, but he's going to be a lot like you with your same self doubt, but wanting somebody. So you just, I guess, once you work on yourself, it's like you're both working on, you're both helping each other. It's going to be one of those relationships where you heal each other. Because sometimes the universe does this. It gives you people to help you heal each other. I mean, they did it to me with my husband. So, and I didn't go out with nobody for like 2 years after my separation from my husband. And I just met my husband, and we've been together 10 years, but it just fell in my lap, and I was not looking for it. If you're looking for it too much, it's not coming. That's the God honest truth. So, I can tell you that. I'm not the all knowing, but that's just the philosophy of everything. If you're looking for something, it's just not going to happen, and then you're going to miss out on other things while you're looking for that one thing. I mean, even though I'm depressed and at times because my younger son is being an idiot, I can still try to, learn to be a better live streamer, and there's still things I can do instead of stopping my life. And I guess it comes to the question of that. If you worry too much about one thing, you lose other things in the process. So honestly, it's a struggle in life. And love is, we all want to feel loved. And I get that. But sometimes you can even find love in other things. Like find a goal that you really want. I do that all the time. I find all these personal goals of things I wanted to do my entire life, and then if you have do your bucket list, I do a bucket list of things I want done before I die. And if you start in your 40s and 50s, even your 30s or 20s, you don't miss out on things in life. I mean, everybody has to go to work, everybody has to make a living. You got to pay a mountain of bills. We get it. But if you have a bucket list and you start knocking small things off, when you get more money, you can go on the things on your bucket list that are more. And then sometimes you don't even think about the bad things anymore because you're on this incredible bucket list of things you want to do. And I knew I wanted to be on YouTube. Maybe. I wasn't sure because I've always been a book writer. I enjoy book writing. I love books. This is just something that fell in my lap, and then I just said, let's put it on the bucket list. And to me, if I do really good with it, it's okay. And if I do really bad, I do try to improve because I do try to put out quality things. And when I do speak, I try to speak clearly so I don't sound crazy. Because who wants to just speak and sound crazy? You want to, I don't know, be well educated where people can kind of understand you. So, and I did take speech class when I was in college. So I try to apply all these practices. I really do. Because I don't want to be one of those people that everybody's just like, what did she say? I mean, my phone does fall a lot because I got a gigantic dog that's always moving around or scratching or doing something. And he could be a full time job. I'm not going to lie. I come home after an incredible 8-hour shift and I have my dog looking at me. So I have to change, figure out where we're gonna go, and we be going. We're out usually. I could do a 40-minute stream when I'm gone, and just go into like little rural parts of where I live. I'm looking at least an hour and a half, and that's straight off of work. This is why I consider it the gym. Going on walks with Chong, that's a lot of exercise. But if you do these little goals, I feel right before you die, it wouldn't be so bad. Because honestly, if I can, I guess if I guess if I could like contain all my time, it would be hard. But I try to make use of all the time I have because I do see how life can be precious and moments can be precious and sometimes when things seem really bleak and stuff, it's sometimes good to have a really good filler in your life of something like you can pick something on the bucket list when you got something extreme going on and you're isolated. I've been isolated and just getting my life together over at this apartment. So I figure while I'm getting my life together, I might as well figure out how to be a better streamer. And I hope I'm doing a good job because I really do try, like I said. And I think, it's probably the reason that I don't really do drugs at all. I mean, I do have a medical marijuana card, but I'm not trying to be high. I mean, I do smoke enough to where my anxiety is a little bit centered, but sometimes it just makes me, I go where I can't think right. And I think it's all these goals that I'm trying to accomplish at one time. I got a lot. I've been to school enough. I'm kind of just done with school. I mean, I went to college already and I just don't really feel like going back. And I just got my student loans paid off and just things like that. And I'm just not trying to go back to school to have more student loans because That just seems very silly to me. So I'm really trying to focus on this book. I'm waiting this week on this MacBook. Oh, hey, how are you? You got a question? I'm just, I don't know, I'm just blabbing. I guess that's what you do for the filler because you're not on an actual phone call. So I have my moon cards if you have a question. Or if you just want to talk, it's fine. It doesn't always have to be about a tarot card reading. I mean, I do a lot of insane things all day. I really do. Besides dealing with Jerry Psych patients, half of my friends I think are psychotic, but we all work at the healthcare place, so I guess it goes with the territory. You get stressed out, and it is nice to come over and talk to you guys. I mean, it's different when you're talking to other nursing friends, but sometimes when you're someplace and talking to people that are not about nursing, it's like, oh hey, I'm talking to somebody not about a bloody bandage or not, or someone's bleeding or somebody's not breathing or whatever. Oh gosh, there's someone at the window. All right, we're not going out there. I know it's Butch. I'm not. We're not dealing with that dog, Chong. I'm not doing it. I refuse to deal with that dog. They could go and do what they need to do. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't stand this dog, Butch. This guy lets him off the leash, which I don't care about off the leash, whatever. But he bothers Chong, and I just tell him I'm trying to do what I need to do, and this dog bothers me. I usually take him about earlier before they walk Butch because this dog's owner irritates my soul. Butch is okay, the dog, but his owner, he does treat him good, but I can't stand this guy. He was looking in my window the one day, and my husband was like half dressed and he's staring in the window. It was weird. So I have my windows blocked because my neighbors, like, since I'm on the bottom, they enjoyed looking at my apartment. So I just put up my paintings by my windows because I feel they're nice and I don't want to put holes in the wall because we're going to be moving probably next year. So I'm having the house like organized, everything really sterilized and put in bins. So I've been doing that. I'm just literally and I'm finding things. I'm finding things I never knew I had. And I'm using every single thing I find, like extra toothpaste, this and that. Because I mean all that stuff adds up and when you're cleaning and making the house ready to go, I mean it usually takes me close to a year because I'll use everything I find when I going through this process, and I like to start if I know I'm moving. I like to like go through this stuff for an entire year and put it in bins. I know it's crazy, but I do have my cards up. If you guys got a question, let me know. I'll do a tarot reading. It doesn't matter. I mean, this is a lot of times when I'm talking to my friends, they always ask me if I have time for a tarot reading. This is what me and my friends do, so I don't mind because I'm doing so many other different things through the day. It's something different and a little bit fun, and it's not medical. and it's not, I don't know, just something different. Because, I mean, you gotta have fun in your life. If you don't have some kind of fun activity to vent with, like mine's always been writing, but I guess the blogging helps. To me, I'm thinking of this as a long blog because I do talk when I'm blogging. I didn't know bloggers weren't supposed to talk. Some do, some don't. I just figure if you're taping something, it's kind of stupid not to talk. I wish the people that built the builders over here talked while they were blogging. I think that would be epic. While those people are building those under all those, they have a bunch of them I follow over here. Those people that build those on temporary shelters, you can look them up, the builders, and they're really cool. But I wish they would like they just set the camera up and they just build. But I wish they, as they were building, like when they stubbed their toe while they're building all those shelters, I wish honestly that they were talking. I think that would be epic because they probably would have a lot to say. Like as they're like building a shelter or whatever, and they sat there and was getting wood or whatever, and they hurt themselves, and they said this kind of wood's not good because of this. I think I would like that better. I mean, I really like that they. I don't know if me and Chong could be in the wilderness and do the kind of things they do because they do a lot, and it's crazy how they're just going. They just go back and forth. But if there got to be dialogue. If there was dialogue with building a shelter, that would be awesome. If I knew that I could survive outside without dying of too many mosquitoes and spiders eating me, I would do it. I don't know if there's a career in me for there's a career for that for me. I really wish I could be a builder that streamed. I really hope that maybe they're one of those guys will start streaming as they're building. That would be just too cool. Or I could see like being quiet in certain parts. Like if you got a real intense part and you're breaking apart the wood. But maybe like I don't know. I mean, some of them I think they do with that, and I like that. I just like dialogue for some reason. I guess as a writer, I like dialogue. Even if it's crazy dialogue, I just like dialogue. I think dialogue is really cool. And everybody has it. Every day you wake up and you have dialogue. You're going to work, you're you're getting your coffee or whatever you're thinking about with shitty people you're gonna work with or if you're gonna work with somebody good and you got a lot of animosities going on, I guess we could say. And this animosity sometimes can build up. And it gives you dialogue all day. Because really, I'm a very chill person. I just kind of come in, do my job. I'm not complaining. To me, it kind of it is what it is. You know what kind of people you're dealing with. You know the state of where they're at, and it's not gonna get any better or worse. So sometimes that's just kind of what you have to do in life. But everybody has dialogue, even down to your work. Even if you think it's not good dialogue, the dynamic of the relationships around you and how they correlate to one another, it makes it very interesting. Because just think of it, there could be someone at your work And if you pay enough attention, you know, they could have potentially slept together at some point because this happens a lot at work. People sleep together. And then they have a certain dialogue, the way they react to one another. And then the dialogue changes just slightly a bit. It's like usually if someone talks to you a certain way at work and you're just not feeling it, you'd be like, you just say something real smart and walk away. And you could tell when this happens because if they're beneath you and you're above them or whatever, you know, in the work status, it can really kind of destroy your job. But I mean, I don't get involved with people at work. But I'm just saying there's dialogue every day that you deal with that you don't think is interesting, but it is. Just look at just think of TV series like The Office. That's work dialogue because most of the time at work, you know the people at work that you work with sometimes more than your own spouse. And it's crazy. It's because you're there 5 days a week and it's open. You know that you're not going to have repercussions for telling your friend something that your husband did to bother you, or your husband goes, "Oh my God, my wife's a psycho. She did this," and then you go home and it's not like your wife's talking into your friends. But if you have that all in one workplace, everything they say about you goes straight there. I think that would be the most horrible thing about it. But everybody has this dialogue, and dialogue is very interesting because as humans, we have just a certain way we think, a certain way we feel, and sometimes if we get too involved with our emotions, sometimes it can consume us. And I think that's what happens a lot in life, even when it comes to money issues. It doesn't always have to be love, it could be a lot of stuff. It could be, usually, it's self regret is a big one. Self regret is when you literally did not do something and you're wallowing in pain. It's you didn't get you didn't get an ending or any kind of proper closure. And the thing is with this kind of issue is closure happens one way or another. Even if you move on, you always get some kind of closure. It's sometimes more painful than others, but closure is always there. But I guess either nor if you're male or female, it doesn't matter. It's who did the negative activity that matters. And it's true. It all comes back to who did the negative activity and who was the most possessive. It always goes back to that. And that's where the activity, whoever starts it, the negative energy just whirls around and goes straight back to that person. They're lashing it out, and it literally goes around like one of those balls that run around in a circle, and then it hits that person. And this is what happens in life. And it happens when you talk bad about people, it happens all the time for anything. So sometimes life is very scary. You can leave your house and some crazy thing can happen you weren't even involved in, and somehow people start talking crazy stuff. And you didn't have no knowledge of it. But eventually you find out 6 months later some crazy stuff happened to people and they lost their job or they're in debt or something, you're doing really well. This is how these things always work out. And it's always the people that was the meanest to you that happens. I go by whoever's meaner. I mean, I know it's crazy sounding, but this is what I do. And I think, I process these things pretty much just kind of like that, I guess you could say. But I do look at these, like how people react to stuff. And I am aware, like if you sit there and just say certain things just in a in I guess a nonchalant way, you can get answers out of things, and people wouldn't even know. I guess you just gotta try to outsmart people, and everybody always picks up on emotions. I learned that from my dad. He was in the military. If you can kind of have a stone face and look at people and evaluate them and come back with intelligence, sometimes you shut them down. They don't know what to say. No one knows what to say to you if you say things in a very intelligent manner. I have learned that in life. And I guess maybe that's probably why I found a blade of grass. Maybe that's how I prospered more. Because my dad always had me learn this practice. He said that you have to do this. So I've done it my whole life. And I know things sometimes could hurt, but if you go stone face, I like call it put your wall up. And when you put your wall up, try to think of the bigger picture. A lot of time when the energy is revolving around in a circle, it won't bother you as much. And then when it's over, you're going to get a really good end result. And generally, the people that are the luckiest, that usually when a horrific thing happens, are usually the victims or the people that suffer to begin with. So that's why that happens. And it's just literally just the energy transferring around. But I do see that a lot. I see a lot in circles at work. I see a lot of that in circles of people. If you study them long enough, they have energy circles around them. And sometimes these negative energy circles, people end up in a state of limbo until the energy's done. The only way to delete this energy. Oh, okay, I thought it was another question. It might be a dead time. I know I'm not overly exciting here. And I know I'm not. It's my nature. I mean, people that worship books, pretty much. I mean, I would have loved to work in a library. I think that would have been my favorite job, as a librarian. I would love to have been one. Do you want a reading? I'm just waiting. I was gonna, after this, probably go back to knitting while I'm waiting. If you want a reading, I can give you one. It's up to you. Or if you're the same person. I don't know. All I know is I got an Android phone. And somehow it has a decent camera. And I don't know how, but it does well with my social media. So I'm just keeping it till it dies. I'm thinking when my son's done with my taxes, because he did say he was going to get them done this weekend. So when this happens, I probably am thinking about getting a phone, something with a little bit more storage. I do have like the Google storage on my phone, which is nice. But I think if I got an upgrade on my phone, 'cause it's like 8 years old. But Android's pretty good for like cameras and stuff. It just like I know how to clean the memory and fix it, and I do my little maintenance on it because I'm not doing crazy things on my phone. I'm not going a bunch of places, and I don't have hundreds of phone numbers. I would prefer to have less phone numbers, I guess, because I don't get a break at all. And I sometimes I came and used my phone half of the day. Because if you're on your phone too much at work, then I mean, if my son calls me, I'll pick up the phone at work, but if it's not something like that, I don't. I just don't. So I don't need a phone for all these purposes. It doesn't like when other people call me when I'm talking, and if I try to go to the other line, that's when it decides to act crazy. And that scenario never happens in my life, I guess. But I'm probably, since I'm probably hitting almost an hour, I'm gonna knit until I get a question, and then just do my usual babble because I have told my resident I was working on this. I'm doing pretty good with it though. I mean, I'm knitting faster. Those knitting people are not wrong. I actually did my fine tuning skills with knitting over the YouTubers that do all the knitting. I'm gonna try to get the purl stitch down really good now that I got the single knit stitch because this is a knit stitch. I wanted to get this down really well before I do another. But if you ever was thinking about knitting, I guess I would start small, like I did. Go to the Go to knitting for beginners. Honestly, they have this one guy that's really good. He's like 25. He looks to be about 25 years old, and he actually is pretty good. And he shows you like every knitter is different. It's weird. They kind of knit and they go about things way different. It's the same stitch, but they have different ways. And I kind of cultivated my own ways, but it's kind of like playing baseball. You're going to throw that curveball all different ways. So I would like, honestly, I'm learning myself. I got this knit stitch, and I always was like, I used to knit hats around Christmas time at one of my jobs. I used to do, and we used to knit hats and stuff for the resident for the giving tree. Then I worked at a high end nursing home then, so the residents would donate money, and we'd make hats, and then I think they donated it to kids or something, but we'd make all these hats and different stuff for the kids. And people that did embroidery and stuff and blanket making, they used to make quilts and stuff for the families. But I used to knit little hats and stuff for the kids. And I just got to liking it because it was something you were able to do on break and get paid for it. But I ended up liking it. And really, hats and scarves, I think, because this pretty much would be like a scarf. They're the easiest. I want to eventually get into quilting, but that costs some money, quilting. You gotta buy your material. You gotta figure out what kind of pattern you're doing. Because if you're gonna quilt, you want to do it a good job. You don't want to. I do like. I don't want to. I like the Amish country style. They make their own patterns. They buy their own patches. And to make things completely by hand, you kind of want to try to do like the Amish ways. The Amish ways is make everything yourself. So eventually, once I learn all these different stitches and get through all these table rugs, I'm probably going to do another stitch because I'm going to make myself a really nice quilt, and I'm going to have one side with the yarn, and I'm going to have it knitted, and then the one side I'm going to have patches and stuff in it designed so the blanket's two-sided, one knitted and one quilted. It's probably going to take me about a year. I'm not going to lie, but since I'm streaming and stuff, I mean, it's a project that I can work on, and I'm actually getting things done that's productive because I want to get this stitch down really good, and I've been just all my little practice stuff. God, my stuff's so itchy. Anyways, all my little practice stuff I got going on generally go to some kind of donation with the residents. It's generally the table bros. They love this. They put it on their table. And honestly, those hospital tables are so small. They are the smallest tables ever. And then you gotta try to put a tray on top of it. They have limited space in these rooms sometimes. But then sometimes they're doing stuff, and they can take this down with all their little stuff. But I told her the other one was, I don't know, the stitches were kind of loose. So that's why my husband got it for a little man on his table. But it gives me something to do, and once I get really good at this, that's when I'm going to start my big quilting project. I'm going to start with all that, and I want to make it for a king size bed too. So that's going to be something. And I eventually want to get to where I'm making curtains. So eventually I think I'm just going to get a sewing machine and teach myself how to sew. Maybe I find somebody on YouTube and teach me how to sew. I'll just buy a sewing machine eventually once I get done with this dentist. I think that would be exciting. Because that's on my bucket list too, to learn to sew. I have a lot of arts and crafts I'd like to learn. So it does calm me down. And it gives me something fun to do. I actually felt like I did something fun. I did something besides work. The one thing I hate is being bored. So I really do. I hate being bored. Being bored is my enemy. I'm always doing too much. I'm always washing up dishes, doing laundry, doing this. I don't know, I have to be organized. If I'm not organized, I'm losing my mind, I guess they say. Because I just gotta have things a certain way. It drives me nuts if I don't. It really does. I've always been like this as a kid. And it does drive me crazy. I just can't stop doing things, and I hate sitting still. And my brain's always moving, which isn't a bad thing. Brain activity is a good thing. Because if you stop doing things and you stop teaching your stuff things, then your brain kind of gets a machine. You gotta work your brain. Knitting's good against Alzheimer's. If you notice, like I think I've said this on other streams, people that are doing arts and crafts, like especially knitting or even crocheting, it's a series of loops and you're constantly making your brain work. And you can increase your intelligence because you're constantly learning new things and it's going to expand your brain so you can learn something else. Then you can learn something else. Then you can go learn something else. That's why when I do one arts and crafts, I want to learn how to do another art and craft. It doesn't necessarily have to profit me. I mean, these kind of things don't need to You could do things that don't profit you. It's called a hobby. I mean, not everything in life's about money. It really isn't. Money's nice, but sometimes if it's not well thought of, money is very, I guess, money is the root of all evil. This is very true. I will say that about money. But if it's well thought of, it's okay. And when you get money, you just gotta kind of watch how you spend it and everything. Because watch where you put it. Because if you're spending too much of it, it's that thing that you think is only $10, only this is only that. It all adds up. You get in the course of 10 days, if you got an extra drink, you want the Starbucks Deluxe or whatever. So they're pretty pricey over there. And you for 10 days you get that, and you spend $100 in 10 days over a coffee. I mean, if you think about it in terms like that, you just like wow. I just go and I just learned. I got a little coffee espresso thing at the house. I think I got it. I got it from someone. I sterilized it and cleaned it really good, the inside and everything. And I got it as a gift. And it's been servicing me. And I don't have to go to Starbucks and get that $10 drink. Because to me it seems silly. Because that's a lot of money. And then if you didn't drink any of the Starbucks, you figure every 10 days you have $100. Then in 30 days, you got $300. I mean, and then if you didn't spend that and you just kept that streak going, got 3 times 12. That's 12, and then that'd be $1,200. That's a lot. And it's just one $10 drink. And just getting your own espresso machine, and a lot of times people give these things away. If you have rich friends, they'll just give you things. And it's nice. Oh, I dropped something in there. Anyways, but I like to think logically like this because if you want to get ahead in life, this is what you have to do. And sometimes you have to think this way because families sometimes don't survive on bad economic reasons. I mean, for a family to survive, you need, I guess, a practical plan, I would say. Love is good, but you guys gotta be at the same wavelength and path in your life, I would say, to me. And that would be important. Like, you don't want to get somebody that fall in love with someone that don't want a relationship at all when you want to get married. Now, if you meet somebody that's willing to give, I don't know, love a chance and everything, and they've been through stuff, but they're willing, then that would be probably your best suited partner. Because I did do a thesis on this in school. I really did. And honestly, I was probably like it was so horrible the paper but thesis, but it came down to that where my conclusion of love was that love's a neurosis. That I wrote this when I was in my 20s. So, I guess there is love. I didn't think there was any love then, but just my emotions towards the subject and being in school for a while. When I wrote that paper, to me, love was a neurosis because it does kind of it stimulates parts of your brain. It satisfies your need to want to be with somebody and have a bond. Through our life, as we get older, we crave different bonds. When you're a baby, you crave the bond with your mother. And maternal. It's always maternal bonds when you're younger. Then when you're older, you always crave, yeah, other kinds of bonds. It's more after that you hit puberty, you want romantic love. And you want that romantic bond. But you didn't want it when you were younger, you want it when you're older. So it is very I did take child development in school, and these are very important things, but you want somebody that's kind of in the same path as you. I know it sounds crazy, but if you have somebody that's like, if you're a little more mature and you find someone else that's a little more mature, but maybe a little younger or older or whatever, as long as you're on the same path, it's not so bad. You just got to be on that same path going that direction. It's just like saying, "Hey, can I get a ride home?" And then someone goes, "Oh, well, which way you going?" And you go, "Oh, I can't go that way." So you just forget about it. You don't see that person for a long while. But if you're on the same path and you guys are riding down the same road, you're going to run into each other. It's the same thing when you find people and evaluate soulmates, because soulmate evaluation is very important. Very important. And the thing about soulmates is not every soulmate is meant to be your only one in that life in certain parts of your life. Sometimes you're meant to meet other people at other times for other reasons, and then poof, it's gone. I mean, I've had two long term relationships, and was I meant to be with them? Yes. Yes, I was. I was meant to be married, and I was meant to be with them. Was I meant to stay with them? No. I was meant to find another circle. Did it suck at the time? Yes. It sucked horribly. It ripped my heart out. But when I was older, I found out that it was for a purpose. I was supposed to have the kids I was supposed to have. I mean, sometimes it comes at a price. These things that I guess are meant to happen to you. And sometimes just having an understanding of things can help. Sometimes you're with somebody just to learn a lesson. That's the crazy part about all this. Sometimes it's all about one or two specific lessons that you never learned. And it literally makes your whole life chaotic until you learn these lessons. And it comes back to you and comes back to you. And then when you say, "Yeah, I learned it, I get it, I'm moving on," unless you really mean it, it doesn't count. So you could say it just to try to get it done and over with, so your circle's done and it's gone, poofy, and you can move on with your life. But no, it comes back to you learn that lesson. It has happened to me a lot. I try to fight it, I could not fight it. You cannot fight it. It is what it is. Just try to learn it, try to have an open mind. If you hurt, as long as you're not going on major drugs and acting crazy, just deal with it in your own way. If you like to keep busy, maybe start knitting. And then you won't have Alzheimer's when you get older. I mean, you kill two birds with one stone right there. But you can get bad mental health though. And people don't talk about the elephant under in the room with that, but heavy drug use does lead to early Alzheimer's. That I can predict to you, my friends, because it is proven, depending on what drug it was, because from what I hear, all these new drugs like crack and whatever, I think it's methamphetamines. I always hear that all over YouTube. But these mind altering drugs are the ones that are going to put you under. And it shuts down brain, yeah, parts of your brain sometimes. And depending on what it is, it could be your motor skills, it could be your right hemisphere, your left hemisphere, and it does damage to your brain. Because your brain is very, it's amazing. It's really ugly. I've seen pictures of the brain. I've actually seen a brain before. And it's really nasty. But when it's applied in a human being, it has so many possibilities. It's like a supercomputer, and it really is true. People don't really believe this, but it is kind of your brain is like a supercomputer. And a lot of times when you're more intuitive people are people that their supercomputers just working at a higher capacity. But if you think about it, I've really never done anything to kill my brain. I really haven't. I haven't done anything to hurt it, and I do try to like take vitamins, and I try to do little things to keep healthy, and I try to stay away from like even over the counter drugs. I don't really certain over the counter drugs I will not take. The stuff the doctors give you sometimes they're worse. That's why I don't do any painkillers. I just because you get too addicted to those, and then it does it does some damage to your brain. And the thing is, we worry about who sometimes we want to be with this or that, but worry about what damage you're doing to yourself. And maybe try to just help yourself by not getting sick so much by I like to do brain foods. Like, I know the Supreme Court Justice when I was younger, he was almost 100. And he was still working. It was amazing. And he said did a crossword puzzle every day. And kind of, if you think about it, knitting's kind of like a crossword puzzle because you're constantly having to seek another solution. If you're making your brain seek another solution, and when you're doing arts and crafts, you're always doing something, and then your brain's trying to think of a solution to get a heart you want posted on one of your blankets or an embroidery pattern. That's the same kind of function your brain is doing, just like the crossword puzzles. But it gives you a nice little hobby, like I said too. But you gotta think about these things. Nobody in the universe is getting younger. If you're living, you're getting older every day. cells are getting There's antioxidants that really help. That I have researched, and I I have a lot of antioxidants, and I make sure I have enough vitamins all the time. And my brain, and I've been healthy, very healthy, because you want to keep your motor skills going. Because the minute you can't walk or you're having all these issues with your health, that's when just things go to hell. Then you have all kinds of medical bills. And who wants medical bills? I would rather just go to the doctors for whitening treatments and deep cleanings and stuff and not have to worry about that other stuff altogether. I mean, there's things you can do, and I do encourage these activities. I don't overtake um, vitamins. You cannot overuse vitamins. You cannot have too much potassium. Potassium will hurt you in large amounts. Do not just take random stuff from people. Don't. You can't have contaminated stuff. You can't. I would do one, like if you want to do like a one a day, I would do that. If you want to eat a banana through the day, that's fine. And if you had a one a day, you already have a certain set amount of potassium where the doctors say this is what you need for the day. So if you have a little banana or two, usually you're okay because when these levels of potassium and different ones come up, sometimes your best help is an antioxidant. It really is. And there's a lot of research with nutritional like this, and I try to do like things like this of this nature because I feel I'm trying to get ahead of life. I'm trying to get my book published, and I might just pay for my self publishing, honestly, at this point, because I need to get this done because my one book's already written. So once I'm done with the dentist bill, I'm going to start that and I'm just going to pay for it. I think it would just be easier because I don't know if I trust people because a writer writes the book and I don't want someone else having my whole product. I really don't. And I heard a lot of ideas get stolen. So I'm just going to pay out the money and take the rest. I'm going to invest in myself for once. Instead of just worrying about my job title, this and that, and what money I'm bringing home. I'm just now, I guess this is a part of my life where I'm just going to invest in myself. I mean, J.R. Tolkien did it. The one that read Lord of the Rings, he was a professor at Harvard, from what people have been telling me. And he wrote these books and he published them himself. He saved up his own money. And they went big. The movies, everything. And obviously, he's not alive no more, but his family, well, they own everything because he paid for everything. So, I'm probably going to end up having to pay for this book, for that, but I'm going to start my short stories. Like, I can have a short story written. I can have 50 pages typed, probably done in a week. I'm going to start at least doing 4 of the longer short stories. Then I'll see, and then maybe there's like something on Amazon where it's secure, but I am going to pay for it. I don't know if I trust anybody enough, I guess. We're going to say. There's a lot of scammers out there. a lot. And if I had somebody scam my book, oh my god, that would not be pretty. So I just choose to not be involved in those kind of activities. I honestly don't. If I don't recognize the number, I don't pick up my phone. I really don't. That's why the only time I deal with Facebook is just pretty much to talk to my friends because we have our own little group over there, and that's about it. I do want to make Facebook a better place, but I'm not sure if I'm winning this battle. But my friends like our group, so I have to keep this group alive for my friends. As crazy as that sounds. Because I've had this group for a long time. I've had this group over there for like 2 years. And it started out with just me and my work friends, and now we're down to 183 members. And the thing is, it's just a bunch. I do all the posting and sharing because no one else does it because they're always working. But this is my life, and I'm okay with that because my main focus is other things, and it does help me out in some avenues, and I do get to see what my friends are doing. And sometimes being a digital creator has its advantages. I can pull their posts if they need me to, or different things. Once I get a job title, I don't like to, I guess I don't like to give it up. Since I'm an STNA, I could, I mean, I probably will probably start, and I'm probably going to be a patient tech soon. I'm still going to work as a STNA. That's the crazy thing because I have the title. I have the title. I don't want to lose the opportunity of and worry about losing my license. Because if you stop doing these things and you're not redoing things for your license, you lose these licenses. So I guess I just do this because it seems like I'm doing an okay job. And I do enjoy doing it now. I do actually could say that I do enjoy it now because I get to practice my knitting, I get to meet new people, and not everyone's gonna like me, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I am weird. I get it, and I'm not exciting. And I mean, boring topics to me are interesting. And that's just the bottom line. I just weird stuff that everyone else thinks is boring. I think is fascinating, and it's always been that way my whole life. But if any of you guys are listening, want a reading, let me know. I'm just working on this, and I figure I'm a part of this community, so I'm trying to do what I would do with my friends. That's it. I'm not doing. I'm now. I would do it without. I do it for free because if you're talking to your friends, you're talking to them for free. So, I mean, I think it's silly, and I think you guys, and you guys are my new friends because I can't really. Sometimes on Facebook it gets too much over there trying to stream. So you guys are my new friends. So this is why I do this. It's a friendship, I guess they would say. It's friendship reading. If I would do it for my friends for free, since you guys are my friends, and I would do it for you guys for free. But I do like talking to people. I do like hearing people's stories. I like hearing people's opinions. And I'm a little deaf like half deaf, so sometimes it's easier to read it. So I don't mind reading your story if you wanted to talk. And I love like I said, I love dialogue. I like to hear about people's problems, and sometimes I have an answer for you. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. You know, I can give you advice. I don't mind giving advice. I can try to help you with your homework, and that would be fun. But what are you doing, Chong? Okay, good. Chong's going in the chair. But I'm probably gonna do this for till about 7:30. That's why I'm getting tired. I've been up since 4:30 this morning. I put over a good morning post. And then I put over the good evening post from Snapchat over here. So I try to keep in communication with you with Snapchat posts. Which sometimes that's all I got because I get up at 4:30 in the morning, go back to sleep, wake back up at 5 o'clock in the morning, get ready for work, and then I gotta call my brother at 5:30 in the morning to ask if he's awake. And then we finally my brother gets here at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I want to say not only at 5:30 I take Chong out to pee every day. And generally that's when I do my morning stream, my morning Snapchat. And I try to send that over so you guys get a good morning even though I'm gonna be at work for 8 hours. I mean, I don't know. I was thinking about going to another job, but I got 12-hour shifts, and I don't know. I mean, I'm in this, been doing carpooling with my brother for close to 10 years. And and we kind of have a system, and I feel that if I switch jobs right now, it would break the system. So, I don't know. It just makes it hard to leave when you have all that going on with one job. So, I, that's why I'm down to 4 days a week. I mean, I would do this without any aspirations of any subscriptions, but I just got to the point where I got a live button and then I would be able to get subscribers. So I try to do my own editing. I'm not rich enough, I guess, to have all these editors. I really can't. And to do graphic design and this and that. I had to learn all of it myself. Which is going to help me with the book. So I'm kind of glad I learned it because graphic design is really going to help for my book cover. That book cover is going to be amazing because I already know how to make it. I already will have the computer next week to be able to design my own book cover. I even have the app for it. Then I can send it to my computer. I mean, it's gonna be real easy. This is and before I had all this, I was planning to have somebody do. I was gonna have somebody do painting for me. I still might. I still might make the picture and then have somebody paint the picture that I bring up. I literally still might do that. I might have my friend Carla that does oil paintings and do that for me because she made another one for me that it's on one of my Chong Gothic books. I mean my Chong Gothic groups. It's the I got the one painting I have her made. It represents a black hole and eight spheres. I had it specially made and ordered. My one painting, and she does really good with things like that. I think if I came up with the cover art I need for my book, she would make a really awesome painting for me. And I think I'd want that painting with the cover art that I do for it because it'd be like my little trophy type thing, you know? Once I get paid to get it published and everything, it's just gonna be there. And then, I can put on my wall and enjoy it because I love oil paintings. Love them. I think oil paintings are my favorite thing. I love collecting them. I have some that are nice and probably are worth money, but I have never sold them and I don't ever plan to sell them. My luck, one of probably would be one of my daughter-in-laws or something would want to, but I don't know. I got to be choosy who I give my paintings to. But I do collect these, and over the years, I do admire art. I do admire paintings. I think paintings and books are like my favorite out of all the arts. I enjoy it. I love I love Da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci's incredible. I admire his talent. And I think there are painters over here. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if we got painters over here at YouTube, but I'm sure we do. Bob Ross was amazing. I used to remember watching him paint all the little trees and the squirrels, and it was like, and he would have a whole painting, like in an hour, all of a sudden, boom, this great painting would be made, and you're like, this is amazing. That's why I probably like to watch those people making houses because they go for hours and you see them and they're just going in the forest and you can see it's barren land and there's nothing there. And then all of a sudden there's this amazing shelter that you might even want to go on a vacation with. There's this one guy, I forgot his name, but he looks like he was in the military or something. And you can tell he has a really nice German Shepherd. And they'd be up in these hills and mountains, and he was building shelters right on the side of mountains. And you're like, how does? And you just watch. You can't stop watching because who do you know goes and builds a house on the side of a mountain? I mean, it's amazing. It is literally. It's an amazing practice. I mean, I could never do it. I don't even want to put that on the bucket list because I don't see that ever happening out of me. But it's amazing how some of these people can do this stuff. I mean, you can tell he was probably higher up in the military. And I think, even had a military dog with him. But he built an incredible shelter. Incredible shelter. Just right there on the side of the mountain. I was like, damn, I will go visit that shelter. I mean, if you don't mind not having indoor plumbing, and he had a fireplace. He had all kinds of stuff. He insulated it. It was like, wow, but incredibly talented to be able to do that, just like the painters. I do admire people that can do amazing things. I really do. You got to give it up to, just certain people in the world. Sometimes they can't be replicated. But I'm gonna probably, the husband should be home and probably gonna take, I don't know, a nap or two or try to find a snack. But I'll be on tomorrow. I'll probably do stream on side with Chong and then I'll do a stream inside if you guys have any tarot readings or anything you want to do. I mean, I don't know if I was overly helpful, but I tried. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I misread, or that's why I always ask. Sometimes some questions get a little, like, I misread them or whatever, but that's why I always ask a second time. Try to get it right, so. But I'll be on tomorrow, and probably with Chong for one of them, and then I'll do a tarot card reading tomorrow. It might be in my living room tomorrow because the husband's going to be in here doing everything to get me copy written. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and I hope you guys have a great day.